mental illness. Take This travels around to lots of conventions yearly, such as PAX, MagFest, and TwitchCon, to reach out to the gaming community about mental health
issues. The voices aren't coming through.
Okay.
Oh, apparently they are. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Chat was saying things weren't coming through, but apparently now there's voices. Hello.
All right. So Take This travels to different conventions such as PAX, MagFest, and TwitchCon to reach out to the gaming community about mental health issues via informative panels, and to also create safe spaces called AFK rooms where congoers can have a quiet place to get back their calm. And we will be starting up this race very, very shortly.
All right, and with that, let's count these runners down.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. There will be a little bit of a lag via the stream, so sometimes the voices won't sync up, but that's okay. Hope that all of our runners have good luck and have fun.
And so, Rivers, do you want to talk a little bit about the randomizer in general for some people who've probably never seen this before?
Sure. So FF4 Free Enterprise randomizes the location of 17 key items. You can see that they are all trackable here, and we've got a nice Yang Palom start. If you've never seen a run of this before, essentially the idea is to get the crystal and get access to Zeramis via either the pass, which we have dummied in to make a easy overworld access if you find it, or the darkness crystal. And our players will be trying to grind up to a good enough level to take down Zeramis and finish the game.
Mm-hmm. And the randomizer does offer a lot of options for what to randomize and how to randomize it. We usually call these the flags. The flags that we have here, we had some donations go to make the flags a little bit harder for the runners. So we have what's called the Forge the Crystal variant, where the runners will need to collect the Adamant key item and the Legend Sword key item, which are shuffled, and then take those to the dwarf that would normally forge the Excalibur, and instead that dwarf will forge you the crystal, which you need to make Zeromus vulnerable so that you can actually fight him.
Right. This is these are also the T4 flags and S5 flags. So basically, any shops that you would normally see, like in the league flags that we do, shops will have nothing. The runners will have to find a different way to grind, and all the treasure chests will actually be pretty good. So we've got a lot of incentive for these runners to just keep on opening chests for you.
And so we have all of our racers pretty much clear out all the chests in Baron. And we've got some nice stuff here. I saw a Dragoon Spear and Dragoon Armor. Those are both pretty good, although neither of those are equipable by their current party. There's also, I think I saw a... Actually, I'm not sure what else I saw.
There's a Dragoon Spear. There is a Glass Helmet.
Glass helmet.
The glass helmet will help them if they really need to get past a tough fight at Baron Inn. That's kind of the real early game measurement of how buff your party is, for lack of a better word. And because the glass helmet offers you so much physical defense, it can be really helpful getting past that.
So we have, at this early stage, the runners are pretty much just going to be looting treasure chests to get some early powerful items to get their start off the ground. They did find the hook the hook as their first item. There may be a magma key somewhere, but there might not be, in which case they would have to use the hook to take the hovercraft to Upper Babel and fight 2 bosses in Upper Battle in order to get access to the underground. So we'll see if that holds to be true, in which case we have a long road ahead of us.
So we're seeing in Damsian here, they're looting the basement. We found a Bahamut, So we got some early incentive to want Rydia on the team. We also found a light sword, which I believe only Cecil can wield. So that is incentive for 2 characters who don't normally get picked. Of course, since this is T4, we're probably going to find a lot of good things, but that's just what we got now. Oh, it looks like we've got Porum on top of Mount Hobbs. Because the no free lunch flag is on, every character is going to take a little battle to fight. You can't just find them hanging around. You could use the hook to go get a free character, though. That's considered blocked by the game logic, so we'll see if anybody wants to do that before they actually... Yeah, well, here eLmaGus goes, so we'll see that character pretty shortly as well. And a lot of divergence early. We've got Night Dew and Antlion Cave. We've got eLmaGus doing the hook. We've got Alexa being the only one I've seen so far to take out Troya. And we've got Demarin on Hobbs, getting Porum Palm together and trying to take out Bagan, who is actually kind of an annoying boss at this point in the game.
Yeah, especially with the fact that most normal magic he'll cast a wall afterwards, which will make it a little difficult to fight with Palom and Porum. However, the twin magic is really good here.
And Magus finds Edward, our boy. Just what everybody wanted to see. And the Magus sisters are hanging out in that Ruby Can spot. That's actually a pretty nice spot for them. The Ruby spot doesn't have a whole lot of magic attack, but it's still a little bit of a wall.
Yeah, it's still a lot of HP to get through. That fight can be pretty difficult depending on what your party looks like, just in terms of how long the fight is, even if it's not necessarily the hardest to survive.
So Night Dew is the first down to the Antlion base here, and we've got the D-Lunars out to get some blood here. Kind of an annoying fight given Yang as a start because of the physical damage, but power plus Fireclaw is pretty good here.
Yep, the D-Lunars will counterattack physical the fight command, but commands that are similar to the fight command, such as power, don't trigger that counterattack. So Night Dew's okay using that power command to beat down the D-Lunars.
It looks like Magus has saved, and he's kind of trying to check these chests. There is one trap chest, which I don't think he's quite prepared for right now. As we see Night Dew pick up the package from Antlion Cave, just what he wanted to see.
He gets a heroine shirt, which will be it's nice on some characters. It has the interesting properties of reducing magic stats, but massively increasing physical stats for any of the female characters that can wear it.
Yeah, as Dwight had said in the chat, the items are definitely pointing toward Rydia right now.
Yeah, they've also got a Blitz Whip, I think, and
I have not seen her yet. Night Dew finding Fusoya. One of the very few characters I think that anybody is going to be happy to see out of the package. And so yeah, if nobody else checks this, Night Dew could actually stand to pick up a little time here.
I'd be a little bit surprised if nobody else checks this, but we'll see.
So typically in like a real race setting, package is sort of ignored. Just the rationale being, it takes a lot of time to do this cutscene. It takes a lot of time to walk over to Kaipo and do the second cutscene to get the character. But for Fusoya, I think pretty much everybody's going to take that sacrifice, seeing the characters we've seen this early.
Especially with the suspicion that it's a hook seed and you'll want that early game powerhouse that Fusoya offers.
can I ask, what makes Fusoya so good?
Well, Fusoya in these flags, we have the F2 flag on, which so Fusoya in the base game will just comes to your party and he knows literally every black magic spell and every white magic spell. And he also is at level 50 and has almost 2,000 health. In these flags, he's a little bit nerfed in that his power is gated by how many bosses you kill. He starts the game knowing, I believe, 12 of his spells. And every boss you beat, he will learn 3 more spells, even if you beat those bosses before Fusoya joined your party. As well as he starts out with 500 HP and gains 100 HP every boss you kill. So he powers up based on how many bosses you kill. But pretty much once he gets either the nuke spell or the quake spell, or any of the tier 3 spells, you can pretty much rely on him doing a lot of magic damage. And that's why he's pretty good in these flags.
I hate when I'm staying in the inn and then a wall just starts coming toward me. It's always the worst feeling.
I'd also like to mention that we just hit $4,000, which is amazing. So thank you so much, everyone, for all of these wonderful donations.
I believe that's over $1,000 today.
I do seeing Kane hanging out in the Kaipo bed. That character can only be claimed if you find the Sand Ruby, so some incentive for our runners to want that, especially seeing as we got a Dragoon Spear very early. It looks like Demarine is going to be the first one to do Fabul properly. She's in there right now selling in the menu so that she can buy her classic 20 cabins or whatever. My name is not Phantom Ryu, so I'm not going to say that, Vitasia. So A-Lion hanging out in Mist Cave, pretty easy target. When you have Fusoya early, a lot of strategy is involved around trying to get him his good spells in this flag set as quickly as possible. So that means trying to kill the easiest bosses that you can. And normally, the Demon spot is pretty free.
I mean, there's only a very few bosses there that can make it not free. And mostly not free just means it takes time. Such as if the Fabul Gauntlet is there, and then you have to sit through all those fights. Meanwhile, Demarine engaging Mylon Z at the Fabul Castle. I'm not sure where the Deep Ravine is, but Mylon Z insists that she's going to fall into it.
Oh, my body!
Yeah, by Deep Ravine, of course, we mean the moat or whatever's around this castle. So Alexa is going to get her Fusoya. She's also dived the package. eLmaGus is just about to get his as well by taking out these D-Lunars.
So, Rivers, I have a bit of a plight here. Vitasia's $20 goes towards you doing your best Phantom Ryu impression.
I see. And what if $20 was $40 though?
Well then, you might have to think about it.
I do love thinking. So Demarine got a Protect Ring out of the whole deal, as well as the Tower Key. The Tower Key is pointless for our runners right now, but it does give them access to a key item spot in the underground. They'll want to go. I guess if you're running the seed, I would say that it gives you more incentive to want to go underground faster, but not necessarily right away, given we still have Baron Inn open.
And Mounter deals with knowing that the Baron Inn is, I believe, Cecil. And that would mean that they might feel compelled to do Mounter deals so that Cecil is actually useful when they get him. They do have a lightsaber chilling in their inventory, so he would have at least some reasonable equipment, as well as some good armor floating around.
Yeah, on T4, Cecil really gains a lot of relative value, and especially knowing that you don't have like an infinite source of hourglasses. Even just having him in like crystal armor or something can be really carry you through a tough stretch of the run.
Looks like Nemarine's picking up her mop.
And yes, as chat pointing out, Magus not picking up his mop. I don't know how he's going to handle the janitorial duties of Mylon Z, but I think he'll manage.
So what makes a runner a good free enterprise runner?
That's a complex question, but there's a lot of knowledge that goes into being really good at this. There's also kind of getting used to some of the judgment calls you might have to make. The knowledge would be like, what can your characters handle, and kind of having a good grasp on how powerful your party currently is, so that you don't bite off more than you can chew, and therefore wipe. As well as quickly executing commands to clear boss fights quickly. Picking good routes in terms of like sequencing things in a way that that you're spending a minimal amount of time to find items quickly and gain power for the party quickly. Is there anything else, kind of the just general concepts of like what makes somebody good at this that I'm not thinking of?
No, I mean, I think you covered it pretty well. It's kind of subjective and seed-based as far as how aggressive you want to play. But generally, these randomizers tend to go at the intersection of knowledge, execution, and foresight. And you're always trying to figure out your best path ahead.
I see, thank you.
Alexa's peeking around through the Eblan cave, checking the chests. She probably I believe she has mop now, so she could probably handle the trap chest in here, so she isn't going to be as concerned as eLmaGus was in terms of like needing to save before checking chests. What will be interesting is whether she decides to continue on to the Upper Babel boss fights after getting the stuff here. A character that we know to be Edward, but she does not know.
So we've got Mylon in Baron Inn. That's actually a very nice spot for him because he can be long and pretty annoying if you catch him in the wrong spots. But in that spot, he has a very low HP number, and most items can one-shot him and his entire zombie crew.
As we just saw, that firebomb.
And it's Globez. Ha! Ha! Ha!
So what makes Golbez so interesting? I believe he's generally considered one of the more gatekeeping bosses in this.
Yeah, Golbez takes a long time to get past. Another thing with this specific flag set, actually, is that if your character does not have a actual wall item, like if somebody has not found the couple moon bells that I've seen so far, and they run into Golbez, you don't really have a way to protect against his magic, and it's very fast. Once he actually gets turns, he's a very vicious boss.
Mm-hmm. This is one of the... So the way that boss stats work is they do take many of their stats from what the original boss in that plot location was. And I do believe this is one of the slower spots, so that can make this fight a little less scary than it might be somewhere else. And also, I believe that the karate fight that you normally fight here also doesn't have very much magic power. So that might mitigate that a bit.
Yeah, at this point, actually, the problem that eLmaGus is going to have is that his characters are not doing a lot of damage.
Yeah.
And it's like 4,000 HP, so it's just going to take a long time to sit through all this.
Yeah. Demarine, on the other hand, managed to keep Fusoya for the Golbez fight, so she'll probably have a much quicker fight here.
Yeah, bringing Yang up is a good idea too. Golbez as a boss is weak to fire attacks, so when Yang's in the party, usually a good character to have up the fight, or to use the power command in this sort of the set of flags, I should say. Naitu only getting a glass helmet for his work on ordeals.
Oof. I mean, you also get that class change on Cecil though, so that's still something.
Yeah, and his Fusoya got a lot of spells from the 3 bosses, so he's probably not feeling too bad about it. It's a decent little gamble, but not going to be happy with the key item there.
There was I saw a Zeus gauntlet in the Fabul treasury. I'm not sure if there was another one in Eblan Cave. Apparently there was, according to chat. The Zeus gauntlet is a particularly nice glove item that adds a huge amount of strength.
And Demarine has the pan, and eLmaGus is about to get it as well from winning over Bernin. So, unless we find the Mistrag item like the Octomam spot, not a whole lot to do for our runners. So at this point, they just gotta dive that hook.
And they might need some more levels before doing it, depending on what kind of bosses they see there. We know that we saw Magus Sisters, and the Quake spell on Fusoya will be able to handle the Magus Sisters very effectively. But whatever's before, there's actually 2 bosses there, so that's only one of those 2. Depending on what the other one is, they might hit a bit of a snag.
Yeah, with everybody but eLmaGus having Fusoya, I don't think we have to worry too much about a grind here. Fusoya, as talked about earlier, comes with a lot of good spells, gets a lot of HP buildup. But what also you might not think about him is also that he has very good equipment. And as far as magic defense goes, that's a very big deal in some spots, especially early in the game. So the Sorcerer Robe, I think, will protect, will make our runners feel better about diving hook without a grind.
Mm-hmm.
Also, kind of what you'll see from from the way the seed is played out is that I think everybody who actually got Fusoya will definitely dive ordeals, and eLmaGus is already there anyway, trying to avoid the hook. So that means that Naitu will not have wasted any time as far as the whole metagame goes.
Yeah. I mean, also, like we were talking about earlier, Paladin Cecil has additional value on these flags because of the T4. There's a lot of opportunity for him to get excellent equipment. Looks like we have Bahamut at the Octomam spot.
Yeah, I've already seen Crystal Armor pop up. I don't know if I'd undersold it or not. Obviously, when there's not really that much to buy in shops, only cabins, not really a priority to toss that now. So kind of the armor comes into... has more of a role in the set of flags.
So I hear you keep talking about the hook. What exactly makes the hook such a vital item?
So the hook is a plot item from the original game that lets you pick up the hovercraft and land it elsewhere, which you need to get to the Eblan Cave, which connects to Upper Babel. It's one of 2 items that can give you access to the underground. The other is the Magma Key. The Magma Key, you just drop in a well in Agart, and it opens up the volcano, and you can fly down to the underworld directly. The hook, on the other hand, you have to go all the way through the Upper Babel dungeon and fight whoever's at the Rubicante spot, as well as their cohorts. So there's 2 boss fights. And then you get you go down to the underground and you get the Falcon, which is the second airship from the original game, which has the drill that can open up the volcano after it was sealed, or in this case, open it up at all.
So what I'm hearing is that we would rather have a magma key.
We would, well, the runners would rather have a magma key. The viewers, I think, are pretty happy with them only having the hook.
So since I rejected the pleas to use my voice for evil earlier, let me say that another thing about the hook seed is Rufio, Rufio, Rufio.
There we have it. There is our, I assume, who was it? Phantom Mario?
No, that wasn't him at all.
Okay. As someone. We had a thing.
Looks like we have a bit of a stream hiccup on Nightdew's screen.
Yeah, Nightdew right now, like if we were saying who was actually in the lead, Nightdew is probably the furthest along in the seed. It doesn't mean he's actually winning, but he's the furthest along.
I mean, he's making the call to go up through Upper Babel at this point. Hasn't already been here. Has he done the Baron Inn already?
Yeah, he's done everything. He even took out Leviathan at Octomam. So the only thing he has left uncleared, basically, would be the Mist Dragon hanging out in the Tower of Zot in that one boss spot with the Mega Sisters. Otherwise, he's got no option but to do this.
I'd like to make a small disclaimer to everybody watching. If you want to get in and snipe some names, you need to do so in the next 5 minutes, or we are going to close off the naming incentives. We decided to close them off at 30 minutes into the run, just so that there are no spoilers for the runners. So if you want a name, or you want to change a name that is currently in the lead, definitely get in there now. Currently, Character 1 is Chesney with $100. Character 2 is Midia with $100. Character 3 is Edward with $60. Character 4 is Coffee with $35. And Character 5 is Shop AU with $35.
Some hot names in that batch. What do you think of those names, Silver?
Some of them special. I know that we've got a couple of those are actually references to Paladin's Quest, the first two names, which is a bit of an unloved JRPG.
So as I understand it, because we are having some questions about the naming, the runners will be going to name their characters after they decide what their team is going to be. So they're not going to be renaming the characters as they go along. Rather, they're going to be renaming them once they've gotten their final party.
So Omega's finally doing package and finds Fusaya there. So I'm sure on his stream he's just like, man, and just muttering to himself, doing the Megas thing. Nightdew is gonna get his Edward, and I think promptly toss him, given who he has in the party already. And looks like Demarine is right behind Nightdew, and Alexa has she done Baronin yet? I don't think so. So she's a ways back still. Yeah, not a C3 flag seed here, so no Force Edward, unfortunately, for the troll lovers in the chat. Fusaya at 1500 HP with Quake should be a pretty good and easy way to get through this next couple of fights.
So Nightdew picking a fight with a trapped chest that has 4 Mad Ogres. And he's going to use the size spell from Fusaya to mini them. They do have an incredibly high magic defense, but the mini spell the size spell will make them take massive damage from physical attacks. Along with that Berserk spell, which both buffs physical attack and makes the character automatically attack whenever their turn is ready, even if your turn windows haven't cycled around to them. So it kind of usually increases your effective turns as well.
Yeah, there's no way to really say that except to note that Berserk is broken in this game. It's overwhelmingly powerful,
really?
And it's what you want early on for sure. You see, most of our runners will probably take both the trap chest fights when they find them up in Cave Eblin and in Upper Tower here. Typically, this is a strategy of people wanting to get a few extra levels before they fight the King Queen Eblin spot and Ruby Cant spot, which are both really evil. And in this case specifically, it's to get Palom Quake, which you'll see Knight do, I think, pick up pretty shortly here.
Just picked it up from that Mad Ogre fight. Also got a Drain Sword out of it, which it has some interesting properties because it has -5 to Strength and Agility. Why might people want to subtract their Agility?
So, one of the most complex things in this game is agility manipulation. Most of our characters will probably have Cecil, so let's just go with that for now. Cecil is, as the main character, is considered the basis of all speed in this game. So, if you make Cecil's agility lower, it turns out that it makes the rest of the party faster, because that's the brilliant way that this game was designed. So you'll see some of our runners will sometimes be trying to play with the agility, trying to get certain characters higher, certain characters lower. Because Cecil is in this party, and I don't see anybody keeping outward over him, you'll probably see them using that Drain Sword on Cecil if they have a tough fight that they need a little bit of extra speed in. And as the memers out there have pointed out, yes, you can also use Cecil with the Drain Sword to heal his own HP against Zeramus. It only takes a gazillion years, but if you really want to beat Zeramus with some underleveled characters, some really painful things going on in that seed, then yeah, you can also kind of nurse through with the Drain Sword. Oh my goodness, it's DK Cecil. Oh baby. Hello.
This unfortunately is not the N2, so they can, as long as they can manage to tank through these 3 hits, then they'll be fine.
Oh! It's a good thing Fusei is in the seed, because it makes it a little bit easier to survive. But
Knight wasn't quick enough getting that cure off.
Yeah, when you don't know it's coming, it's hard to prepare for what you don't know is going to happen. Yeah, that's one of the evilest spots that anybody can have in this run is DK Cecil at King Queen Eblin. Does a lot of damage to you, does it real fast, and you normally don't have a lot of HP to play around with here.
Now we actually saw him move his Fusoya to the center spot, which kind of makes him break all the ties in terms of who goes first. We also saw him lower the battle speed to 2, so that he has just a little bit more time to menu during the fight. And he just needs to get that heal going. He's also gonna use a cure potion instead of cast the spell this time, because
Cure 2 is dangerous here.
Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, looks like it's enough.
Okay, he made it. So we got one victim to Dark Knight Cecil here. I think we'll probably see Demarin run into at least once, and eLmaGus and Alexa as well when they get there.
Yeah, so just an announcement. We've cut off the name incentives currently, or rather, the names that won are Chesney, Midia, Edward, and Shapeyu.
Edward Chop AU, you say? Okay.
Edward Chop AU.
That's a new one, but we move on. Demarin getting a taste of the DKC.
Yep. There's that mop. That she's a little bit of more grace to menu. And we have Night 2 engaging the Mega Sisters.
Yeah, this is really, as far as running into Mega Sisters goes, this is actually pretty nice because you've got Quake, you've got Meteo.
We actually got Quake on 2 people.
As long as you can withstand a few of the attacks, do a little healing, you'll be okay. Justice is not the only right in this world. Someday, you will see.
I'm curious to see if Demarin has the confidence to just take the Mega Sisters fight without going all the way back to the save point.
Yeah, saving is definitely the play to make if you're not confident here.
It is not a trivial fight, so it's defensible either way. We have a Meteo coming out from Night 2.
Night 2 not doing enough to kill Cindy there.
Cindy has a massive amount of HP in this location.
I think you got a little cocky with that one, but shouldn't be too hard to finish the fight as long as Fusoya stays up.
Also interesting, he'll actually be gaining a little bit extra XP out of that by having Cindy recover. Oh, this is a little awkward though.
And eLmaGus becomes our latest runner to fall victim to Pain Man.
Oh, he might get he got the Cure 3 off in time. He did not fall victim to Pain Man.
Oh no, he already did once.
Okay, did he?
Everybody made it through on their second try, it looks like, so that's
okay.
At least the seed was kind enough to give everybody Fusoya for this one.
I mean, it's with the base HP on Yang, I think that it wouldn't be too difficult to get through it with
oh
Yang
baby!
Cecil as well.
We've got a Berserk Fusoya for Night 2 now.
I think Night 2 has a Silent Staff on Fusoya too.
Let's
Maybe?
get it, Fu!
No, never mind. That's not a Silent Staff. Silent Staff would do quad damage against mages and actually do reasonable damage here.
80 HP at a time, Sandy. He's coming for you. You better watch out. So, Sandy and Mindy have scripts that go off only when the middle sister, Cindy, is killed. One of Sandy's things to do is, as you can see, use Charm, which is really annoying in the wrong circumstances. I've seen people die before where a Charmed Palom quakes the entire party. She also uses Berserk, and because she had a wall up on herself there, you can see Fusoya just dealing out that 100 damage a turn or whatever it was.
Oh boy.
Looks like Demarin caught up with Night 2 basically there. Dropping Mega Sisters just on his Night 2's heels.
Yeah, that really costs a lot of time not getting the proper kill right away on all three of them.
Yeah, when he cast media there, he really dropped the ball.
I would say he dropped several rocks. So neither Demarine nor Knight do check the top of tower boss. You can if you scoot over to the right a little bit here, peek at it, and you can see that it's a vanilla Dr. Luke. So that's not actually a very intimidating boss at all, and I think having the tower key will probably steer Magus toward that after the pans sooner rather than later.
Yeah, it's pretty likely that they'll want to head that way anyway. That's the pan is probably their top priority, and then there's the single free item in the Land of Summon Monsters that's just in the chest where you would normally get the rat tail. And then the tower key has 2 key items there.
And Alexa meets Pain Man for the first time, so we'll see if she can, like our other 3 runners, get a second try. Magus actually looks like he's climbing tower right away, not even doing the pan. That's an interesting play.
Yeah, I mean, they need effectively 3 key items to finish this, because they need the Legend Sword and the Adamant and either the Pass or the Darkness Crystal. So, it's pretty likely that he's going to end up coming here regardless of what the pan holds, so you might as well do it now. Although that is a Darkness Crystal in Land of Summon Monsters.
Now our runners have access to pretty much any other boss spot they want in this world. So there's what, 5, 6 on the moon? Am I counting right?
There's
six potential key item spots on the moon itself.
Isn't there Bahamut as well? Does that make it 7, or is it 6 with Bahamut?
I think it's 6.
Oh, there's 6 bosses, but there's 7 item spots because the one that guards the 2 ribbon chests has 2 items there.
Correct, yeah. So Alexa does get through. Demarine checking out the bottom here. We see Odin and Mom Bomb in the vanilla
Feels
Leviathan.
good about the Odin. She does have Palom with, Odin is very weak against lightning, although that physical attack is, she nopes out of that right away.
She didn't feel that good about it, apparently.
Yeah, it's easy to forget that, exactly how much physical attack Leviathan has, because it doesn't always come up.
Yeah, physical attackers at that spot are generally pretty mean. Mom Bomb it can go either way at this point. Like, you can probably take it down, but it will take a while.
That's true about Mom Bomb in most really powerful spots. She does have the white spell on Fusoya, so that's pretty beefy. Although Mom Bomb is also no joke of a physical attacker.
Magus,
so this might be a little difficult.
Magus having an easy time with this vanilla Luge. This spot can be very dangerous, but because of the way we kind of split HP totals, if you get a attacking boss there that has a lot of HP and it's actually hard to hit, it can be very difficult. Luge himself is not that hard, and as you can see, Nuke is a very powerful spell, and Dr. Luge doesn't really like it that much.
Do I have some time to read off some donations?
Sure, go for it.
So the bid war for Edward or coffee got very hot, and we got $20 more from Bahamut, who said there will be 2 Edwards, Final Fantasy IV FE character number 4. We had gotten an anonymous donation for $14. This is Mag's Cup, and Margaret Ann gave us $5. So thank you very, very much, everyone, for those donations. Just a reminder that all of these donations go to Take This, whose main mission is to inform the gaming community about mental health issues, provide education on different disorders and prevention techniques, and to reduce the overall stigma around mental illness. So thank you so, so much for providing money for such a wonderful cause.
Yes, thank you very much for all your donations, everybody. Even though coffee should have won.
Yeah, and just a reminder, now that the naming incentives are done for Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, there is actually a Stardew Valley co-op run coming up where you can name a whole bunch of things, including the players, the favorite things, the farm, the pets, and the barn animals. So definitely, if you are interested in naming some more things but aren't sure what you can name, there are those. And if you donate during this particular run, you can get a really cool t-shirt made by Kitty. You do need to donate $20 in one go if you want to be in the choosing for that t-shirt, but it is an amazing t-shirt. So definitely go check out our incentives page. To look at the prizes, just check the prizes tab.
All right, so a lot of key items revealed as all that was going on. We had the Sand Ruby from Sylphs. We had Twin Harp at Sheila 1. And Sheila's pan item itself was the Excalibur, which makes Cecil very, very good. We also saw the Spoon at the top of tower. And eLmaGus is about to give us the key item spot for the tower key itself.
What would you say is your favorite key item?
Probably the pink tail.
In these flags, I would say I'm always the most excited when I get the Darkness Crystal. Regardless of how early it is, if it's super early, then you can just like go up there and get the character, and that might be a really good early thing. Or if it's kind of partway through, then you get to make the interesting call of whether or not you should be going up to the moon.
So Alexa is turning in that Sand Ruby, getting herself a cane. With that Dragon Spear, he's going to be a very good in-game character as long as he can be properly leveled here. Getting rid of Cecil.
So would you say that's got to be Kane?
I would for $20 more. We also saw the pass in the tower key spot. So be curious to see if our rudders take that as incentive to clear out the overworld and underworld rather than going to the moon.
Yeah, the tracker should mark down that they did get the Twin Harp out of not Demarine. Knight 2 has the Twin Harp, and Alexa is about to pick it up, as is eLmaGus.
Music! Hype!
Oh boy.
Oh, this is great.
Very nice. And just if you didn't know, there's actually a Chrono Trigger run later in this marathon.
All right, so that's done now. eLmaGus will give us our second instance of it, but yeah, it's one of the best songs, as Chaz pointed out, in the entire randomized Twin Harp thing. And for doing it, Knight 2 gets the Magma Key. which I'm sure he's thrilled about because it does absolutely nothing for him right now. Now, I want to point out a little strategy here. Alexa actually found a siren early and is using it right away to summon an egg. The eggs drop, what is it, like 34,000 experience per egg you kill. This is actually a yellow dragon if you let it hatch, but it's one of the primary early grinding strategies of the game, and Alexa choosing to take those levels early is an interesting call, not one that everybody would make.
It does catch her cane back up, like up to the level of the rest of the party, because there's a catch-up XP mechanic in this as well, where if you have your party filled out and somebody is more than 10 levels under the average, they get a pretty massive bonus to try and catch them up to everyone else's level. And there's ways to abuse that as well in certain places where you can get manipulate a fight to give you over 1 million XP. But, getting 100k XP is pretty nice, and that king gains 19 levels out of that. So from level 10 to level 29 is now pretty useful with that Dragoon Spear.
And the value dragon has appeared in Dwarf Castle.
We also get some nice blurry screen from Demarine, who is neglecting to heal the poison off of her party.
So in this flag set, when you fight the Mist Dragon and kill it, it actually opens up a key item. The way we kind of triggered it around was that in the normal course of the game, Edward will give you a free key item because he gives you the Twin Harp originally in the basic game. However, here to make it to add a little more flavor, a little more challenge, because of the no free lunch flags, you have to actually find and kill the Mist Dragon and talk to Rydia's mom and Mist to get that key item. And Night Dew is now throwing Tella right in that garbage. Good for him. And we see Ogopogo in a very generous spot for him because this guy in the wrong spot is a real beast to deal with. In this particular spot, with only 3,000 HP and very low magic, this is exactly where you want to find him.
Not very much physical attack either, which is another scary thing about Ogopogo. Demarine is still right on Night Dew's tail. They've been pretty much taking... Well, no, they haven't really taken the same route, but they've kind of synced back up and they're high-fiving in the crystal room of the Dwarf Castle.
So what kind of glitches are allowed in this category? With these flags, because I know that in the original game you can teleport back into the Dwarf Castle crystal room.
So the G flag stands for glitchless, and it actually disables that warp glitch that lets you pick up the sealed cave item just by casting warp after leaving the crystal room here. It also disables the MP underflow glitch that you see in the vanilla speedrun, used with Tella in particular, and also Fusoya, to have infinite MP in battle. And it disables the item duplication glitches that can be used to generate silly amounts of money, as well as giant stacks of the same weapon or shield.
Yeah, we call it glitchless, but really it's kind of our form of no major glitches. There are still a couple around. Most notably, you see the life glitch used, where enemies come back with have a vitality stat of 0. So when you throw a life potion on them, they instantly come back and die again. And you'll see probably most of our runners use that to abuse experience.
Right.
There's also the back row glitch where you can keep a back row bit on a character permanently after you equip them once with one. So if for instance you run into a tough physical boss, that's something that you see a lot of runners that play this specific set of flags, or really any set of flags use.
I see we have the twins Edward. As Knight Dew opts to lock in this party and is naming them now.
Yeah, the 64 floor glitch also was booted from the list of things you could do, because you could use it to access the moon without actually having Darkness Crystal. I think at some point we're probably going to restore that, but it's going to be in a different kind of flag set where, you know, everybody knows that it's fair game and, you know, everything's on the table basically.
So maybe adding like the 1 or 2 type of thing to glitchless.
So we've got Knight Dew coming in hot, Neverin right on his tail. Both of them going to see that Mist Dragon key item at the same time. And it is a rat tail, so fetch quest, but potentially a lucrative one if it's got something big at the end of it. Another thing to point out at this point, given how deep into the key item chains we are, is that our runners are getting very close to 10 key items. Once you get to 10 key items in this flag set, all experience you gain is doubled. So that's a very powerful incentive for...
Interesting. Demarine comes to check the Sand Ruby character, sees Kane and leaves. She might already be pretty happy with this party. I know she tends to like mages. I'm not sure. Oh, she's looking around for a naming way now. Might have been that last character slot that she wanted to check, but she might not be familiar with where naming way is.
Yeah, naming way is right behind that Kaipo NPC there. Yeah, that's one of the worst NPCs in the game if you actually want to rename a character here. Speaking from marathon experience with this game, having run the vanilla game a lot, that guy just does not want to get out of your way at all. Well, it's Paladin's quest, but we do have a Paladin, at least, for most of our runners. Alexa ditched Cecil, but everybody else still has him in the party. So knowing that Bahamut is behind that rat tail, options are getting pretty tight for our runners at this point. They've got the Legend Sword already, but they're looking for the Adamant, right?
That's right.
So they need to find one key item, and I think the only spots we haven't seen on the Overworld or Underworld that we have access to right now are the
Leviathan.
the bosses at Leviathan and Ashura, which we know are Mom Bomb and Odin. Both very tough. Well, Odin's very tough. Mom Bomb doable, but not easy.
They also might need some of that Moon XP in order to get the levels they need to fight Zeromus. But both Demarine and... Actually, just Demarine has 10 key items now, I believe. Oh no, Knight Dew also has 10 key items. At 10 key items, with the X2 flag that is pretty typical to race with, you get a double XP activated. And that pretty much means you don't want to like commit too much to grinding early if you can avoid it. And once you get that 10 key items, then you're pretty happy to do all the high XP things that are available to you.
In this flag set, it's much more common for you to have 10 key items when you grind, just because instead of finding just a crystal to go mode, you're finding the Legend Sword and the Adamant rock. So you have to dig deeper into the chains, and generally that gives you more key items than you would normally have playing this game. And eLmaGus is going to the giant.
Interesting.
So you want to talk about the grind here?
This is one of the grind options that they have. Is there's a fight that you can manipulate to get in the giant, which is against a searcher, which summons enemies. And if you get the right searcher, then he summons D-machines, which are without modification of any kind, 40,000 XP a pop. And now with the double XP from 10 key items, that's 80k XP each. It's a pretty big boatload, and you can just have the searcher summon them over and over. They are vulnerable to the weak spell, and then you can also cast life on them to res them with 0 health, which gets you the XP again because they are resed and immediately die again. It's not covered in the glitchless flag because it's, I guess, considered more of a minor creative use of an oversight in game mechanics than an actual glitch. Just because enemies have 0 to all their stats.
Yeah, eLmaGus is way over 10 key items at this point. So you're going to see this grind. It's going to be actually very quick to get him to where he needs to be because of the levels that he has. He's already in the 30s. You're going to see probably like maybe 9 or 10 of these, and then he'll get all the levels he needs for the rest of the game. Should add that the grinding is very interesting in this specific flag set because normally you would rely on having life potions. Here, not the case, so you either have to kill everything one at a time, or you have to find a turn order that works for you to have Porum cast Life 1 as a spell.
Looks like we're going to get some more harp music out of Demarine.
Alexa beating Mom Bomb, finding only another Dragoon Spear for her troubles. The thing about T4 with K2 is that sometimes the reward that you get isn't actually something that you don't already have.
Not really what you're looking for there, at least. Really hoping we get to see Wyvern, because one of the things these flags do is they randomize the opening spell out of Wyvern to be a random thing instead of Mega Nuke. Megas is having a hard time.
Is there a chance that it's randomly Mega Nuke?
Actually, I don't know. I thought there was, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, there's not.
Oh, okay.
I guess that's good and bad.
Well, it's good for the runners. It's bad for us, but hey, we've gotten to see a pretty trolly seed so far. No complaints yet. The DKC at King Queen Eblin was beautiful.
Magus is still looking for that searcher. May have messed up the manipulation a little bit a couple times.
So basically, for what Magus is doing, there's like a little chart where you're looking to see what step you get an encounter on, and it tells you specifically which room to go into, which fight will be the grind fight. Because this grind fight is exclusive to beating the No 64 speedrun, it's actually very important, and all this stuff has actually been noted for a long time. So Magus is following this chart, and he's trying to find the D machine. Hey,
He finds his D machine. Meanwhile, we've got Alexa and Night2 are both cashing in on their big whales, heading up to the moon. We're going to see Demarine go really fast on a chocobo. Just to go back to her airship. Notably, Alexa has not picked up the Legend Sword. Where was the Legend Sword again?
Legend Sword was in Dwarf Castle, so
Dwarf
that was the Mist Dragon as well, so you didn't have the rat tail. Night2, the first one to actually visit the moon. Is he looking for value?
Looks like he is looking for value in Cave Bahamut.
Value in Cave Bahamut? Preposterous, but one thing I do know is that there is always value in the Bahamut stand.
I'm just hoping we see a dragon in Cave Bahamut.
Oh, look at that. A nice free boss, too, in Leviathan here. Ice 2 is Leviathan's only spell, and his magic attack is very weak in the spot. So this is very, very well set up for Night 2 to win this fight quickly. Yeah, we'll have to ask Magus what his idea is here, why he reset so many times. If I were to speculate, I would guess that he's trying to set up the turn order so that he can get a life potion off, but I'm not totally positive. And maybe he tried to start that and forgot.
Might be the trouble that he's having because he can't get it set up where Fusoya goes right, or Fusoya and then someone else and then a white mage. Or I guess Porum is the only white mage, but yeah. Looks like he finally has it. Meanwhile, Demarine is also going to see Leviathan, still right on Night 2's tail.
Both Demarine and Night 2 in search of value at Cave Bahamut.
Looks like eLmaGus is in a little trouble here. The mop went down before casting weak.
Yeah, this is...
That hourglass isn't going to save him, I don't think. Oh, maybe it will. I thought you couldn't stop the machine.
Oh yeah, you can. Value!
It is
Cave
value
Bahamut.
in Cave Bahamut.
So here's a question. What exactly is value?
It's whatever your heart desires, Kay.
Oh, okay.
But in this case specifically, it's the adamant that lets us forge the crystal to beat the game.
Ah.
So Night Dew officially in go mode. Demarine will be there as soon as she also takes down Leviathan. Night Dew is doing a little grind here on the King Ryu. Or trying to. Shop AU, a little bit uncooperative here. And the King of Ryus have a lot of physical defense.
They are hourglass, so they aren't doing anything anytime soon. The hourglass is an item, a consumable item that casts stop on all enemies. And it is really good.
Yeah, so because our runners don't really have life potions, the grind is a little bit tougher in all respects, and not having sirens also makes a big difference. It's probably why eLmaGus decided to do this grind, even though it's taking him a while.
Did he reset again? Or did he get half of a grind and then...
He got half of a grind in, yeah, because you can
Okay.
see the levels went up by a bit.
I saw that after I asked.
So both Demarin and Night Dew, eschewing the grind in the Giant, are further diving the core here.
Yeah.
Looks like.
Yeah, I mean, without those life potions, their confidence in setting up an efficient grind here might not be very high. Also, the travel time involved and the amount of XP, like, they don't need a huge amount of XP, and the travel time involved, they might just decide is too much for the relatively little amount of XP they need. Chat pointing out how that T4 wasn't that friendly this time, and I'm gonna have to agree. There was like, they aren't swimming in crystal swords and adamant armors.
Well, they didn't really get Earth Crystal or Baron Key to go dive like the highest density treasure locations. So there is that. Also, very funny that Rydia just now popped up after getting Bahamut in like the first dungeon or so in the game.
Yeah, that's one of those things that can be really nice if you get it quick, but at this point, that ship has sailed.
So the good news for Magus is that he won't have any real worry about his levels once he's done here. Whether he goes to do Gabe Bahamut first, though, is an open question. Night Dew and Demarine both kind of diving deeper into subterranean here. They're looking for bosses to kill to give them more experience. Basically, they're trying to grind up via bosses rather than a legitimate grind fight, as far as we typically do. Yeah, Magus has the items, has the levels to win the game now. He's got everybody in the 50s at least. He's got Nuke. He's got White for Porum. He's got Cure 4. She should have enough equipment to stay up. So at this point, kind of a matter of what they want to do. Night Dew actually just turned on the random encounters, so he's just trying to find enough King Ryus and Ging Ryus to get the levels at this point. He's already got 10 key items, so those should give him, depending on if he can kill with a life potion or not, somewhere in the area of 80 to 120,000 experience a turn. Whereas Demarin actually trying to grind on bosses. So for the first real time since I can remember in this race, we've got some separation between Demarin and Naidu.
She unfortunately lost both white magic casters. And that's a little unfortunate because you really want a lot of that XP to go on Porum here.
So we've got 170k experience for Night 2 from that fight.
It's actually more than what Demarin just got from her boss fight.
That's a pretty big swing. These are levels that you could do Zero Miss with, but without life potions, it would be scary for sure.
And without Cure 3 potions as well. Or at most one Cure 3 potion, I think, that we've seen, or 2 Cure potions just from treasure chests.
Funny enough, in this in this flag set, I find actually getting the life staff is a big deal. Just having that reliable source of life on somebody, it does make a big deal.
Yep. Those protect rings that they've been finding are also kind of a big deal, though, because they have magic, chance to magic block, and it's one of the few things that's especially effective against Zeromus's Big Bang.
So it looks like per chat and per Scala, eLmaGus not going for value. Oh no, I'm sorry. She was talking about the names. My mistake. Yeah, so we'll see where Magus goes here. But he is going straight for the subterrane, so leaving Adamant behind right now. It'll be interesting to see if his levels will help him catch up as far as how quickly he can beat down these bosses.
It's kind of one of our last chances to see Wyvern. We're about to see some of the, probably see some of the lower lunar subterranean stuff.
Yeah, at this point, Night 2, I guess, is just trying to get enough HP on Porum to feel comfortable. Running into the King Ryu fight again, that's really nice to see.
This is pretty much the fight you're looking for.
He's got weak on one of his Edwards now as well. Demarin running into the guard fight here. This is a really nice spot to find this with 1 hourglass left.
Is this the ribbon, the one guarding the 2 ribbon chests?
I actually didn't see.
This is also a pretty high amount of XP too, if that's the case.
Naidu is going to get another 170k off this one, I think. So that's really nice.
She's looking to life glitch these as well, because it's a regular enemy, so that's a thing you can do. Just letting Cecil wail away at them.
Alright, so Naidu's one of his Edwards just got Meteor, so he's very close to being at an appropriate level, I guess you would say, to finish the game. Depends on if he wants to risk it, though. I mean, you do want to play these flags a little bit safer, without life potions, without a way to really revive anybody who falls down.
Having the 2 white magic casters does help a little bit with that, but still can be a little scary.
Oh wow, the Leviathan spell and the ninja shirt. Wow, the plays that eLmaGus just got there. Knight do getting some really good luck as far as these encounters, though. This is all random as far as I know, and he's found the King Ryu and the Ging Ryu like 4 times in 5 fights. Yeah, none of the runners have forged yet. Only Demarin and Knight do have the items to forge, I think. eLmaGus running into Valvulus. Valvulus is one of the roughest bosses you can find with Arcane. You're basically forced to try to berserk to get through her physical defense because any spell you cast doesn't do anything. So it's a long, lengthy fight. Thankfully, with Chesney here in the middle, he can at least count on that Excalibur damage, but really not a fight you want to see when you're trying to finish the game.
Demarin runs into it as well.
Yeah, we haven't seen Edge and we haven't seen Sid, as far as I can remember. But we haven't seen the Earth Crystal or Baron Key, so a lot of the characters are locked away at this point. Nobody took Rydia yet. eLmaGus was grinded up, and I think most of our runners also were kind of at the same spot. So here comes Knight Dew. He exited out. He's got the levels that he wants. And he's going to go forge the crystal. This variant involves you getting the adamant rock, since I don't want to confuse it with the armor, and the legend sword, and bringing it to Kokol, the smithy, and he will actually create the crystal for you. And it looks like Alexa is our third runner diving Cave Bahamut, where all the value in this seed is.
I am so happy that this is a value in Cave Bahamut seed.
If eLmaGus clears every boss in the subterranean, he's probably going to take another 5-6 minutes before he gets there. Honestly, he's not in a bad spot right now.
Yeah.
But it's just going to take time because he keeps running into really mean bosses. All right, so Knight Dude about to use the pass, which is a key item we jimmied together to get the Zeramus from the Troya bar. And Silver, do you have any idea whose butt we're going to kick today?
I have no idea whose butt we're going to kick today, but I do know that it is a new debut sprite from Scala Kitty, some of her newest work. And therefore, Scala Kitty is the only one who knows.
And whoever edited the seed.
That would be
that sprite.
Yeah, I believe that was Boardface, the the lead dev for Free Enterprise.
Yeah, I have no idea what it is.
Unfortunately, not here.
So just as a reminder, the incentives for Stardew Valley are coming up, and I'm going to go ahead and close a lot of those once the last runner finishes Zeromus. So that would be the player names, the favorite things, the farm name, and what pet gets chosen. Currently in the lead for the names for that are Haunted and Dolls for players 1 and 2. My favorite thing is Puexel, if you didn't know. And Yagamot's,
We knew.
And Yagamot's favorite thing is Grimer, with Mudkip right behind it with $5. Grimer at $6. The farm name is Ragnarok. And currently the pet in the lead is the cat with $14. And dog at $7.77 right behind it.
So you can influence Keishira's favorite thing, and it might not be Puexel anymore if you donated.
What? No! You should donate for more Puexel. But yes, if you want to change what my favorite thing is...
And here is the new Zeromus sprite.
Oh my goodness.
I'm 12, and what is this?
My goodness.
It is literally the newest Pokemon. Fought here before you can fight it in Pokemon, as Scala Kitty points out.
This is amazing.
I definitely heard to donate for Kay's favorite thing, literally not Puexel.
No.
So, this Zeromus fight. Nightdew has a lot of good equipment, a lot of high-powered spells. Mainly relying on Chesney here at the Excalibur, though. Typically, you would see runners be a little bit cautious about putting as much agility on Cecil as possible, but in this specific instance, it makes a lot of sense because Excalibur is just going to take out our Zeromus sprite as quickly as possible.
It's like he loses Edward the Black Mage to a counter nuke. Zeromus will counterattack magic attacks with a nuke, or single target magic attacks at least. But this also, if it is done after his shaking that charges up his Big Bang, it will actually nerf that incoming Big Bang's damage to about half of what it normally does.
So Alexa is our second one to actually forge the crystal itself. Looks like Demarin's about to get there as well. This fight has gone pretty well for Nightdew. Not in any terrible danger with Shop AU at 2200 HP. But these things can change fast, so let's hope I didn't commentary jinx it.
Looks like eLmaGus still is going to pick up the Pale Dim spot, which he skipped on his way down to the lower parts of Lunar Subterrane.
And now both Edwards are dead.
Oh, Edward did. Oh, is eLmaGus did eLmaGus forge the crystal? The tracker has it. I must have missed that if he fought.
I don't think he has
I
it.
think I saw him go down and go up to the moon. I, of course, could be wrong.
So apparently we're learning that this brand new Pokemon that's never been seen before can cast Big Bang. It's pretty cool.
Oh boy.
I want one of these Pokemon.
So Nightdew is in kind of a tenuous position here that he doesn't have any MP left for Fu right here. I think he has some items, but he's going to have to manage this MP for the rest of the fight.
Does he have any like ethers or elixirs? I'm not sure.
Haven't seen his inventory in a while. just a Cure 3.
Ooh. Unless there's something further down. Oh, he's going to drain Cecil's MP to keep going.
Yeah, that's really, really handy, really convenient. Really good play by him there.
And we have Demarine will be the second one to engage Zeromus and find out the new Zeromus sprite.
Oh, he saved his Bacchus wines for this moment. That's very nice.
That's clever, actually, to save them for the point after which he's dealing with those dispels from Black Hole, which removes all your buffs.
And yeah, 2200 HP. Ooh, hello. Here's Meteor. Oh, there we go.
Okay, it didn't take out Fusoya, so he'll be fine.
That was pretty fortunate, actually. Those can happen. You can get a big bang into Meteor if you happen to phase change him at just the wrong time.
Interesting that we actually see Demarine is popping a Moonveil on Cecil here. I happen to know she likes to get aggressive with magic, and I think we'll see some reflected nukes.
And GG to Night 2, according to the timer, a 130.03.
Very nice, and way underestimate, but that's probably good because we started a little late.
So Demarine next in the fight. eLmaGus finally about to see the light of value here. And Alexa looks like she's setting up her own D-Machine grind.
Night 2 says he has one thing to say. Value.
Would you say that value is valuable?
I would say that. We can probably get Night 2 in here to talk about the seed a little bit if we want to.
Value! In K Bahamut.
And looks like Demarine's going pretty stably with her Zeromus fight, throwing those nukes out pretty well. It's not clear to me if it looks like she's not going for the phase skip. She just wants to use those nukes as high DPS.
Yeah, these are the hybrid strats.
Uh-oh. Until she
Man.
gets damage rolled by that Big Bang.
Yeah, I wonder if she was thinking that she had nerfed successfully with that Thor Rage.
She was going for it, and then it looks like it didn't happen. Anyway, hello, Night 2.
Hello,
what do you
everybody.
think about that seed, other than the value in Cave Bahamut?
Well, I'd like to think I represented Team K Bahamut very well there, yeah, I mean it was pretty straightforward going to the underground. I almost like hubris myself. I totally just sat on that Meteor from Fusoya, thinking, okay, they're all done here. Kind of did not add up the Quake plus Meteor damage well enough, and yeah, that kind of happened there. But after that, I'm thinking, well, I actually went to Dwarf thinking, well, if I can get somebody else other than that. I was almost locked in my end party at that point in time, and then Dwarf, Mist Dragon, Legend Sword, didn't really feel like dealing with Cave of Summons. But yeah, it was a pretty nice seed, all said.
So we've got eLmaGus taking over a very slim second place here over Dem after that wipe. Night 2, you and Demarin just seem to have this radar for each other in this one. Like, you guys followed each other to the exact same spots.
I think the only divergence was that Demarin did Tower of Babel a little earlier than you, but then once you had done it, then you kept ending up at the same places at the same time. Demarin just having a slightly slower solution to the I need levels problem, and also just wiped on Zeromus.
Oh no,
Because,
yeah, I just brought it up there.
Fusoya got damage rolled for a little over 2,200.
I was thinking I was gonna have to keep Palom alive there, and at about the point in time when she took that full power for just like 12 more than her hit points, I'm like, well, let's see. I've got a couple Cure 3s here. Let's see if I can actually get a Psych off on Cecil to fill up Fusoya, because that'll do it there, because I kept the Bacchus back just because I knew I needed to Berserk people later, and it just got there.
I saw that Bacchus play. We were commenting on it. That was a really good heads-up play to save it for needing to refresh those Berserks after a black hole lands.
So, Night 2, did you have any other thoughts on grinding and these flags? Was that kind of always what your plan was, to go down to Lunar Core and random encounter your way to it?
I was 50-50 when I was walking out of K Bahamut, and I went to decide, I had just enough. Sometimes I'm just still not 100% with the D machine. I'm a lot better than I was, but in this case, I decided that Ryus were the better choice. I did not have that far to go, honestly. I was pushing probably low 40s when I started it, so I didn't really need a huge grind.
Yeah, one of the big differences between you and Magus was Magus actually did try to do the D machine grind, and he got soloed there for a little bit. He made some interesting plays that was trying to find a way to get that turn order to get Porum a life one off, and just wasn't happening.
Yeah, I went through the order a couple times on there, just especially because I had hourglasses for like the first fight. I sirened up in Cape Bahamut, used my one siren there. But other than that, I just figured it was a better choice for me at that point.
And in this fight, we can see eLmaGus putting the hurt on our friend Meltimus here. Definitely over leveled compared to you and Dem from the D machines, but definitely GG Night 2. That was a very impressive display.
All right, thank you very much, and I'll go ahead and head out and take a look at the end of this race. Good luck to everybody left in it, and thank you everybody for all the donations that got put in for that naming. That was definitely not what I was looking at when I got in there.
Yeah, GG again. K Bahamut, baby.
Always.
Looks like Alexa had a little bit of a trip up during her D-Machine fight. lost Fusoya, but was able to take out the D Machine with the Dragoon Spear and the Lit 3 from Palom. Finishes up the fight. All the way up to Nuke on Chesney, and I didn't see if she got all the way up to White or Life 2 on Porum. Looks like she got White, but not Life 2.
Yep, so she'll be heading into this fight pretty shortly. She's gonna have to... Oh god. Oh no.
Oh, she's memeing.
Well, that's one way to store your MP for that warp spell. So Mega shouldn't be much longer here. Been in this fight for about 3 minutes, has put a lot of damage on Meltimus.
Yeah, I've kind of lost track of how well Demarin's fight's going. Her Fusoya is pretty much out of MP, but she still has Porum alive. Although that might change now. I don't think this was a nerfed Big Bang. Ooh, that was scary. Although we'll see where this counter nuke goes, because it didn't come down first. Okay, she'll be fine. Not ideal, but fine.
Yeah, this is definitely a risky attempt by Demarin, having Chesney at such low HP. Shop AU too, because I mean, even Night Dew you saw had like a 2200 on his Fusoya, who I wasn't sure if it was Shop AU or not, so I should call him by his actual character
Uses
name.
the rarely seen Succubus item to drain Cease's MP, which does the same thing as the Psych spell, drains all the MP, but unlike the Psych spell, has a much faster cast time.
And that's a GG for eLmaGus. According to his timer, it's a 140.22. So congrats to him. A very clean 0-miss fight after picking up Yang the one time. Picking up Midia the one time.
Not really sure how close Demarin is to finishing 0-miss, but she might be able to do it with just this party, or it looks like she's going to still try to pick up Porum.
Yeah, this is very dicey right now. And we may see Alexa get into this fight before it's over for Dem as well, since now all she has to do is crawl out of the giant and find her way over to the pass.
Looks like that defensive gear on Porum is really paying off big time.
I want to point out, there was a Dragoon Spear for Kane, so it's not like he's got nothing, but yeah, compared to Excalibur, it's not ideal.
It does give her better options for agility manipulation, since she's not forced to have Cecil be the anchor of the party, to which everyone else's agility is measured. But it's not as much raw damage output.
So Demarin has nursed 4 characters back up again.
Yep, she's in a lot better space now. Cecil with the Excalibur alive and both healers. She should be okay to... she's even gonna cast one more Berserk. Or 2 more Berserks even.
And Alexa doing her final prep. She's definitely got levels on them at this point, but is she going to have the time to catch up all the damage that she's already down is the question.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if Demery doesn't finish it in like a few more, like less than a minute at this point. She's gotten a lot. Like even while she was struggling, she was still getting some slow but consistent damage up with Yang there. And now she's very stable in the fight, as long as she doesn't lose both Fusoya and Porum to a single Big Bang. And she's even nerfing this Big Bang to be sure.
Well, the nerf did not come through, but luckily got Fu to survive, got Chesney to survive here, and not in bad shape.
Chunking away with that Excal too. And there's the media phase. That was a stressful Zeroma's fight to watch. Like, Porum is your white mage, kind of low health. You're not exactly very high leveled here, so it's dicey.
So I want to welcome eLmaGus in. GG, sir.
GG? I guess. I don't know.
Did you happen to know that there's a meme about value being in Cave Bahamut?
Yeah, there's a meme there. I mean, that's fine. No, just 10 minutes behind, right? So, I mean, whatever.
Not even. I don't think it took you 10 minutes to clear out clear out all of Lunar Subterrane.
Yeah, the time is
And there we have
there.
Demerine. You actually passed Demerine on the Zeroma's fight because Demerine had a rocky first fight, and then you were entering the second fight about the same time, but you were massively overleveled because Demerine had just gone and basically cleared the moon as her way of gaining levels, where you were a little bit overleveled for the from doing D machines. What did you think about that seed? What part did you find the most interesting, eLmaGus?
Interesting. I don't know. It was pretty straightforward, to be quite honest. Like, yeah, if you do stuff in order, you were done pretty early. I don't know. It was really straightforward. Really not much else to say, because like you at the hook seed, you got to go underground, then you get your items, you get your darkness crystal down there, and then yeah, you got to choose either do D machines or grind on the way to the bosses on the moon. So like it doesn't get more straightforward than that for a seed.
Yeah, it really was a pretty straightforward seed. Any other thoughts?
I'm tired. Other than that, though, GG. Yeah.
So indeed, thank you very, very much, Smackus, for staying up late. We're sorry that it took so long.
It was fun. It was all good.
All right,
Thanks for the race, Magus. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Cheers. This might be a pretty close race overall, too. So, Demerine, what did you think about that seed?
I mean, Magus said a lot of it. A lot of it just came down to the fork of, do I want to bang my head on the bosses down at the Asura Leviathan spot? Because it was Odin and Mom Bomb, and just get plowed by their 1,800,000 million point melees, or do I want to just go moon and get my levels? And if I had to go back for them, well, it's going to be a hundo. No big deal.
That's entirely fair. I think we did see one of the two of those bosses go down, but not the other one. We also, unfortunately, didn't see Wyvern anywhere. So the name of this seed was really just value in Cave Bahamut. What was your least favorite part of that?
Everybody going good luck in chat right at the start, and the very first item we got was the hook. It's like, oh, yeah. Fortune favors the bold, I guess, but And botching the Zeroma's fight, like just getting that one bad break on that one big bang, because I was at 1660 on Porum with a Silk Dress and a Protect Ring. I cut it really thin. I wanted to win this race. So I went all in and cut it real thin again. And execution was a little better, but it's still a little bit off. Again, I think it's from lack of practice, honestly, but keeping pace with 2 guys in the top 8, I can't argue with that.
All right. We have Alexa finishing up hers around this fight. We're just watching. She's already gotten a few minutes into it and gotten quite a lot of damage out. This is her last nuke from Fusoya, and then she'll run out of MP on him.
Actually, my favorite part of the seed was realizing that I had kept the succubus in my inventory and that I didn't have to be mana shy with Fu on my second try.
I even called out that succubus and how it was a better, like, eLmaGus actually did the same thing where he cast Psych with Fu, although didn't use the succubus, which I got to point out. Did the same thing, but didn't have the cast time associated with it.
Yeah, and with the way the agility was playing out, it was really important to have all that time.
So, Dim, I gotta know, how grateful are you that Fusoya was in the early game when you ran into DKC?
I was just like the first time, the first time I'm thinking, all right, let me just cast Cure 2, it's fine. I'm like, oh, great, now I gotta run buffer this because I fouled this up. So, like, there was actually a lot of spots where I was just trying to use technique and run buffer and, like, just do a lot of stuff, which was just really neat. Go ahead.
Looks like, so to solve her Fusoya MP problems, Alexa has an Ether too. She's got fancy.
Oh, we should be seeing the dot done very shortly here.
Now. Yeah, this was a pretty close race considering some of the hurdles that were thrown at you folks.
Yeah, 149.58 for Alexa. GG.
So, Sil, are you looking forward to Thursday afternoon?
I am looking forward to Thursday afternoon where we play Final Fantasy I Entrance and Floor Shuffle. And we also have a special thing from Scala Kitty where she's going to show off what the other possibilities for the donation incentives were. Had you donated, we also have a folks donated for the Majestic Memish, where she's going to show off what the other cute sprites for the donation incentives.
Well, let me just jump in real quick and say GG to Alexa, who has joined us.
Hey, thank you very much. Oh my goodness. What a run that was.
That was certainly a run. My favorite part was that everybody died exactly once to DK Cecil.
That's really funny. That's really funny. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he was a little fast where he was, and he was doing quite a bit of damage. This was a really fun seed. I feel like I played really sloppy, but I'm really happy with like where I ended up in terms of finishing. I feel really good about my D Machine fight, even though it was atrocious, because I've done maybe 2 D Machine fights in my entire tenure of playing Free Enterprise, so I feel pretty good about that I was able to like successfully find it even and pull it off.
Yeah, actually, you had less trouble than eLmaGus did on that D Machine fight, which is, it's saying something.
Aw. Well, you win some, you lose some, right?
It's saying there's 5 a.m. right now. That's what it's saying.
Well said. Well said, my friend. But yeah, it was a fun seed. I like thought about banging my head against Odin, and then I was like, what am I doing? I need to leave.
Yeah, you were the only runner that actually tried to take out Mom Bomb, too.
Oh yeah, the only one who successfully took it out, yeah. Demarine, like, kind of got meleeed once for some, like, 2,000 damage, and it was, like, instantly reset. Nope.
I thought about doing the same thing, and for whatever reason, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm dealing a good bit of damage. Let's see where this goes. But I was super surprised when she went down.
Yeah, I was thinking about, like, flipping back row glitching Cecil and then slapping a glass mask on him for the physical defense and just zerking him up and just, basically going and grabbing a drink and hope that she died. But that didn't seem consistent when I had moon access.
Yeah, I bet I was the last person to the moon, huh?
You and eLmaGus actually. eLmaGus went to the moon after doing a D machine grind, so he technically got to the moon after you did. Although he had the darkness crystal before you did.
Right. Yeah, I was probably the last person to pick up the darkness crystal. When I saw that, my heart sank into the middle of my chest. I was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, because you were doing all the other errands. Although some of those errands on the planet side were necessary, so it kind of worked out.
Yeah, I was like a little excited when I saw the what was it, the Legend Sword at Dwarf Castle, because I figured maybe not everybody went there, because like we had good characters, and I figured that like maybe I had a chance. Well, I had a lot of fun, and we raised some good money, and that always makes me really happy. So thank you everybody. Thank you for commentating. Thank you to RPG Valkyries for hosting us. Thank you to my fellow racers. I'm just full of gratitude.
Today I learned Alexa has a heart.
A cold black heart. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm a big old softie. All right, well, thank you.
All right. And we're getting towards the end of your credits, and I think we still have a little time to bleed. Maybe Scala Kitty can show off those other sprites that we might have gotten had other choices been made.
Yeah, Scala, if you want to show that off, the floor is yours.
Well, I would be absolutely happy to do so. So these are the full list of the sprites that were up for in the running. I'll go through them in order. So up in the top left there, we have Tronbon. I think it actually has to be pronounced Trombone. Originally from Mega Man Legend, this sprite, though, comes from Project X Zone, which was a 3DS crossover game. There's like a ton of really interesting sprite work in it. And then we have our Majestic sprite was Gremory, the Moon Demon Goddess from the series Bloodstained. And this sprite is from the retro-style game Curse of the Moon. Now, fun fact, no one's managed to actually go through and rip the sprites out of Curse of the Moon yet, so I actually had to recreate Gremory by hand. But as soon as I saw that there was this absolutely beautiful Moon Demon Goddess, I had to have her in Free Enterprise. And then down for our meme sprite, down in the bottom left, we have Mr. Big Fung Ballsy, origin question mark? And source, Kay demanded that this be the meme sprite, and I'm not one to deny Kay Shura. And then finally, the winner for our sprite bid war was Meltan, the newest Pokemon. Only recently first spotted in Pokemon Go. Probably won't be actually able to be fought and captured until Pokemon Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. And I actually had to make this sprite custom just for us. So I did it in the style of Leaf Green and Fire Red. So it actually would fit in with the aesthetic of those games. So thank you everybody so much for all the donations that we got in during this run. It was an absolute blast to work on and to watch. I'm really glad that we made it all a good show for you all, and I hope you all will enjoy the rest of the marathon. We have some more really wonderful runs coming up. In fact, I think our current host, Kay Shura, would you like to tell us a little bit more about your run?
Well, yes, my name is Kay Shura. And
I wasn't looking at that Discord. That's okay.
Natara, Kay is currently setting up for the next run, and that's what I want to mention to everyone, is this is your last chance to get any donations in for the remaining incentives which are there for the Stardew Valley run. Those include naming the Player 1 and Player 2, choosing Keishira and Yagamoth's favorite things. Currently, Puexel is in the lead with $5 for Kay, and Grimer is in the lead with $6 for Yagamoth, so easy to support or snipe those. The farm name is currently Ragnarok at $15. We have unlocked the pet, but there is still a bid war as to whether the cat or the dog will win. However, the cat is currently in the lead with $34, while the dog is at $7.77. So if you want a puppy, you better be quick to catch that up. That being said, since we will be getting the pet, we need to name said pet. We also need to name a cow, a pig, a chicken, a duck, and a rabbit. And all of those names, other than the pet, are $4 or less. So easy to get your name in. The pig and duck, in fact, are not even named. So for the low price of $1, you could have your chosen name in for the pig or the duck in that run. So I believe the cutoffs for those will be, I think Keishar was saying as soon as this run was done. But if you can get some donations in quickly, we will accept